All right, the return, such an important shot. Why? Because your job when returning is to make the opponents play, regardless of the quality of your return, at least make them play. The reason is because if you have this mindset of making them play, sometimes with better returns, sometimes with worse returns, but still, if they have to play, there is always a chance that they might make a mistake or they might give you an unforced error. But if you don't even put the ball on the other side of the net, how are they going to miss if they don't have to touch the ball? So, basic things for the return, be very low, lower than normally. Like when you're waiting for the serve, I want you a bit lower because normally the serve is going to come with a lot of slice. Is the only ball when the opponents actually can place the ball wherever they want. So they will probably put a good pace, a good slice on that serve. So you have to remember to prepare low so you can actually have a little bit of curve on that return. Yes? Or if the serve is weak, you can back up and play a low. Now, I think that is actually something not that difficult for most people. But when we start returning from the glass, that's when things get a bit difficult, yes? Or when people start serving a lot towards the glass, it becomes challenging. So what can you do when people serve towards the glass? Well, there are two options. If the serve is not that tight to the glass, yeah, or is a bit deeper, instead of using the glass, I want you to anticipate the shot. Yeah. Remember that your position should be close enough to the side glass that with one step you are able to anticipate that ball. Yes. Now, if that's challenging or is not going well, or the serve might be very sharp and too close to the glass for you to anticipate it, then you have to use the other option, which is you let the ball hit the glass and then it's gonna push you back. So then you have to choose if you play low or sometimes because the ball is pushing you back, it's a pretty good time to play a low. Now, different from most of the shots that come to the side glass, because it's a serve, the ball will not bounce as much, for example, as an overhead or as a volley. So what you need to remember is you have to pivot, yes, because it's on my backhand, I will use my left leg. So when the serve comes, I pivot small, and then I have to adjust. Sometimes the ball might die sooner, sometimes the ball might push me more back, but basically you just have to do the normal technique that you use for the glass, but being more alert on how much slice the ball has, because depending on the slice that the ball has, the ball is gonna push you more or less. There you go. Careful, just use the pace that I have on my ball. Nice. What about the forehand? So Rick, as you see, the return is very simple. I really like what you did. I mean, what I want our followers to understand is that the return is not a shot that, they are serving normally with pace. So your job is not to create more pace. Your job is to adjust to the ball, to get around it with the racket in front because the ball already has pace. Yeah. So then I'm going to use that pace to put the ball on the feet. So basically my return should be bouncing not to the line. It should be bouncing half court. Yeah. So that's why the hitting the ball is not really what we are looking for. What we are looking for is the guys coming from the baseline. If you are able to touch the ball early, put it on the feet. So they have to volley from low to high and not from high to low. So then maybe on the second shot, you are able to open the candy shop because the volley won't be as aggressive. Yeah, so I like what you were doing, waiting for the ball in front and then using the pace. Okay, instead of you are not hitting the ball, you are receiving it and passing it to the other side. Normally, we should return to the server. Why? Because the netman is going to be probably very ready for the return. So normally you should return to the person that you serve. Why? Because it's coming from farther back. So it's transitioning. It's not already at the net. So it's always better to play to that person that is coming from the back. Now, for those that don't play on backhand side, but play on forehand side, guess what? I'm not going to explain you how to do it here because it's the same thing as I just explained. You need to apply what we call the mirror effect. So if for that side you were using the left leg to pivot, well, now for this side, you use the other leg. So you are going to look like this, adjust and hit. And by the way, the other day someone asked me, but what about if the opponent serves with backhand? And I was like, well, it's the same, guys. It's the same. Doesn't matter. If that's a problem, then you also need to train how to return a forehand volley, how to return a backhand volley. I mean, how to return a forehand, how to return a backhand. I mean, it's the same, guys. It doesn't change. I mean, maybe it puts you off because it looks funny that they serve with the backhand. Yeah, like Paquito. But it's the same, guys. Maybe they are able to put more slice on one side than the other. Yeah, well, the ball comes heavier. But it's the same thing. Like I told you before, if the ball has more slice, more rotation, then you're not going to go all the way here. For example, someone serving with topspin, I probably need to go all the way here, even using double rebound. But someone serving with a slice, well, I have to be close to the ball because the ball is going to drop. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing if they serve with backhand or forehand, it's exactly the same. So anyway, guys, practice your returns. I mean, it's a shot that you need to drill, as in someone needs to serve to you. And remember that your goal is not to hit winners or passing shots, is not to miss a return. Because there is no such a thing as a good serve, only shitty returns.